Oh my. Okay. Hello everybody. I'm Thomas Gutierrez, and today I will be doing a persuasive speech on the case for Christ. Now, my speech begins with the story of this Dixon case that I did some research on. It was actually in the actual book, The Case for Christ. This is the first story that they introduced it with. So Ames Dixon was a man who was charged with murder. His weapon was found in the bushes, like next to him, and they near the crime scene. And there was also a cop who was shot in the crime scene. So because of this evidence, Dixon also had a past violence of being convicted before for violence. So the evidence was like leading towards, everyone was saying that Dixon was the one who shot the cop because of his past violence and the fact that his gun was found in the bush. However, so everyone thought the case was closed. So new evidence was found, and the new evidence that was found was that the cop actually misfired a pen gun that was in his pocket. And the cop blamed Dixon and said that Dixon was the one who shot him, even though the cop the pen was illegal. He wasn't even supposed to have the pen in his pocket, but it misfired, and that's how the case happened. So the main point of this story that I wanted to make is that with new evidence, perspectives can change, because in this case, everyone initially thought that it was Dixon, and even Lee Strobel, the one who investigated, was the journalist on this, he wrote a paper on that Dixon was the murderer, but he wasn't the murderer. And with the new evidence, our perspectives can change. So, real quick, credibility. I'm a student of Christ, and I actively I try to learn more and more about the Bible every single morning, every day, and I go to church. And today I'm going to be basically presenting some facts that I found to support Christ. So my main ideas are: is God real? What beliefs are there? And Christ is the way. So here's the first picture that is kind of meant to describe the cop in this scenario. As you can see, the cop is right there, and he's chained in with the rope. So basically, this is supposed to show that dirty cops, essentially. This is just a picture crap. So my first bullet point is from Dr. Gray Hopper, and he states the first evidence point really is that Jesus. So when it comes to Jesus' resurrection, he was seen months after his death by 500 people. There was 9 ancient sources that validate Christ after his resurrection. Because Jesus was seen soon after his death, it increases the reliability of the fact that he was actually seen in the first place. And also multiple documents will claim that Jesus was seen after the resurrection. Father Marquis states from Strobel, he says, to find authenticity, you have to compare recovered copies. So in comparison of copies, there was actually a total found of, this is Jesus and the 500 who saw him after he was resurrected. And then right here are manuscript copies of actual recovered copies. And here, as you can see, the New Testament, there is 23,986 copies that were discovered of the manuscripts, as opposed to other manuscripts of ancient documents. There's a lot more of the New Testament, which gave to its credibility because it could be compared to all the other recovered documents of the New Testament. All right. Oh, additionally, there was a fragment that was discovered of John, and it was found 30 years after the original fragment of John. So, yeah. All right. Dr. Mitchell states. So I just showed it. Now we're going to be talking about some facts of the resurrection. Dr. Mitchell states from Strobel, he says, Romans used cowhide with metal balls and bone. When on the cross, Jesus struggled to breathe. When the Romans put a spear through him, they found blood and water. The blood and water is significant in this case because according to the American Medical Association, the blood and water was a pericardial effusion, which is a sign of asphyxiation, which essentially just means that he died because he couldn't breathe anymore, and that's confirmed by the American Medical Association. Even confirms, they said that Jesus died before the spear was thrust into him. Here we have a description of the metal balls and the wooden handle, and here we have kind of an in-depth of the lungs of what Jesus was going through, like while he was like struggling to breathe each time and going, like, because he had his position but he couldn't breathe here, so he had to struggle each time until basically he died of exhaustion. So all right. Next, we have an argument that used by a famous evangelist. He states that a building is proof of a builder, a painting is proof of a painter, creation is proof of a creator.